like, the strengthening of the shilling, clearing the debts, the euro bond. Now, if you look at all these, I think I wrote in some articles that this may not really, may not be permanent solutions, and it may not be sustainable with reasons. Because if you borrow money and then use another money to pay the money that you had borrowed, then it's like there's basically nothing that you've done. Yeah. So soon enough, we get to the same position that we were in. But let me just say this. I think because of time, I just want to say a few things concerning the president's address today. The president talked about the university funding model. I will, coming from the academia, I will be a bit having a different opinion from other speakers, in the sense that I think it is time this funding model takes place and be used in this country. I can tell you for sure that if you want the quality of education in this country, if you want to improve the quality of education in this country, then we must use this funding model. Reason being that, you see, when I got into the university back then in the 90s, our tuition fee was 16,000 per year. Now, I think up to very late, that tuition fee is still 16,000. Yeah. Until now, the president started coming to say, no, I think we should change this. We should increase. Because let me tell you, we talk about university being given capitation. This capitation, the government talks about giving 70% to the university, which they do not give. The same way you see arrears in the county government, the same arrears that we find in the university. So you find that, and this is why we are having strikes, the lecturer strike and all this. But let me tell you this, maybe something that Kenyans don't know, that 90% of the teaching staff in the university are part-time lecturers. Yeah, only 10% because of the capacity. You remember, we just increased the intake. So the intake is just, we just have an intake that will also require more personnel. And to this extent, that personnel is not there. The university are not able to employ, lecturers on permanent basis. So therefore, they resort to the part-time lecturers. These part-time lecturers have arrears of like 7 years not paid. And we are talking about quality of education. So for me, I think the funding model is good in the sense that let those who are able to pay, and let the model be able to support. The only problem is that, I don't know, for some reasons, you find those who are vulnerable are the ones that are placed in those classes where they high. Now, because of time, let me just rush on my points. Now, one of the take-homes or takeaways that I got from the president's speech also is on e-procurement. It talks about people just trying to, people that are in government that do not want this thing to work, the end-to-end procurement process. Procurement has been an issue in this country, issues of corruption through the procurement process. The Treasury is right now working with, I think, World Bank. They're working on that end-to-end process so that by next year, actually, the president is actually preempting what should be happening early next year. Yeah. So this is something that successive governments in this country, have refused to implement. Not that it cannot be implemented. Yeah, because if it is done, then we will be closing all those loopholes of corruption. And if we can be able to do procurement through that system, the end-to-end system, then I think that will be a good thing for this country. About sugarcane farmers, there's also a speaker who talked about, sugarcane factories.
The sugar farmers.
Yes.
If I may just ask you, just to follow through on the e-procurement statement that we had from the president. what really stops the president from actually giving a directive, even if it's an executive order, like he's done before, where we have the e-payment, the e-citizen, that now we have, I think 222, yeah, that and he alluded this to, of course, to KWS, that they've given a good shot at it, very salutary effort, that they've increased actually their revenue by almost 2 billion shillings because of the e-payment. What stops him from giving a directive that the e-procurement should be on cost, so that we don't have this talking of a good game, over the years? Oh, we should now migrate to the digital, or the e-procurement or the tenders should be now also listed on online, so that people can interrogate who are being given this tender. What stops it, instead of just giving it as a task speech today? Dr. Did I lose you?
Dibal, I think we've lost Daktari.
Oh, okay. All right.
Allow me
So,
just before I come in. Allow me just before I come in.
mhm.
Some of our panelists and our friends here, somebody like Ingini, he's actually doing some night school, so it was really an honor for him to agree because we wanted a lot of diversity. Want diversity. See Mambo na Murima only. Wanted people from, Javas from one side of the country, myself from the other side, if it's the western, the eastern, etc. So that you have a lot of balance and perspective. So let me just allow Ingenie to make some contributory and final remarks, and then we'll allow him to run away and we'll continue with the space. By the way, everybody, thank you very much. We're in the second hour of the space. I think we've done very, very well indeed. It's almost 20 past the hour. And so this is commendable. Ingenie, the floor is yours. Malizia, alafu tuende mbele. Thank you.
Thank you, Benji. Thank you. I want to join other speakers by admitting that despite having positive figures given by the Kenya Kwanza government, we are not feeling the same in our pocket. Having inflation of 2.7%, I want to support Beverly that we need to come down to do better than that. But having said that, we need to appreciate where we have come from, because we are talking of 2.7% inflation rate all the way from 9.67%. I think, to be honest, that's a plus. That is positive. Having inflation going all the way, I think I heard President saying that it is the lowest for the last 12 years. We hope that they are doing something, and we start feeling now the same figure you start reflecting in our pockets. Okay, also in health sector, we need to appreciate, despite having teething problem, because we started by acknowledging that we have problem, and the government is accepting that, is admitting that they have a problem. Let's also appreciate that SHA has come to solve issues that NHIF could not, especially the issue of maturity period. The common mwananchi was really struggling that once you register for NHIF, you could only wait for 3 months before and the NHIF cover your whatever. But now at Asha, you just require to register, and immediately it is activated. So for us, that is a plus, not only to the Kenya Kwanza government, but even to the common mwananchi. Because me, I'm a victim. One day I had a cancer patient, and we really struggled because we did not know that his card was not active. We had to register and wait for 3 months, and the cancer was really eating him up. So we coughed a lot of money. But now at the SHA, it means that in that situation, you just need to register your patient and everything is covered. So to me, that is a plus. Despite having problems, that's a plus. Again, we need to appreciate that NHF was only covering for inpatient, and not all inpatient, but salaried and voluntary contributor. But at the SHA, it is a requirement for all Kenyans to register, whether you can afford to pay or not, because there is a fund set aside by the government to cater for those vulnerable families. We know very well that a healthy nation is a wealthy nation. If we can solve the issue of health in our nation, I can tell you for sure the Bal and Benji will have solved a lot of problems, because cancer, chronic diseases, for example, they are leaving most families beggars, selling their rights, selling their properties, and at the end of the day, they lose their family. So we started by saying that the president acknowledged there is a problem, but surely there are some positive changes we can see that if they are worked on, they will give us a good result. Again, if you talk about affordable housing, this is the issue that most of people would not want to discuss, because I don't know, as Kenyans, we have developed a culture of negativity. I would choose to be positive a bit, and say that affordable housing, majority of Kenyans, we don't need to be told that it is happening. We can see it, especially if you go to Mukuru kwa Rubeni, more than 10,000 housing units are already on course. Go to Vika, Ediloiro, Homa Bay. So there are things that are happening. The issue here is the information reaching out to Mwananchi. I think the problem we are having in this government is communication. Because today, if you listen carefully, the president giving the SONA 2024, you would ask yourself, are we talking of Kenya? Because he gave us a lot of positive information. And the truth to that, those things that he touched, they are happening. But when you come to Mwananchi, the common man, majority are not aware, or they choose not to listen, because, as I have said, we have developed a negative culture of negativity, that anything that is positive, I don't know the bitterness that Kenyans we have, that anything positive from the government, we don't want to give it even a year to understand. But if you check keenly what is happening in affordable housing, we have social housing in slums. My beautiful sister here, Beverly, had said that the housing, affordable housing, is not really doing anything to the society, especially to the police service. But I can tell you, Kwamboka, if you go right now to Yapagani police station, I'm stationed to Nairobi, there is some affordable housing there, for specifically for our police officers that are coming up very well. So I think we have different categories of affordable housing, because you have social housing catering for the meant to upgrade our slums. We have affordable for common Mwananchi, and we have other standard for those well-up people. So it's up to you to choose where you fit. And the president had said that it's about one ID, one unit. We need, as Kenyans, to start taking advantage of the small things that the government is doing, as we continue demanding for more, because it is our right. We give them chance to deliver what they promised to us. We also need to start looking the small things that we see they are happening. As Kenyans, we take advantage. If you need to register like any other Kenyans, so that at the end of the day, you will say, yes, Kenya Kwanza haikuwa inatusaidia sana, but nitoka na kanyumba kako. For example, now, as I conclude, talk of job creation. The Kenya Kwanza government promised about job creation. Those affordable housing, the president today told us that it has created 164,000 jobs over the country. 164,000 jobs is not a small number, to be honest. I think going forward, because they are still opening more projects, we will also increase the number of job creation. We also need to appreciate that there is labor migration, which it is helping us in reducing the unemployment rate, and also helping us in remittance of dollars to our currency. And at the end, it will help us because we know very well that we are the net importers. When we have the supply of dollars flooding in our country, in one way or the other, it will help us stabilize our currency, and at the end, it will help our economy. As I conclude by touching about education, though the Daktari was talking of a funding model, I don't want to go there because he knows better than me, but it's also good to appreciate that for the last 2 years, the government has hired more than 56,000 teachers. Beverly said that she's a teacher. Maybe she knows whether it is true or not. And also, the government is promising to employ more 20,000 coming years. It means that for the last 2 years, we can see, yes, we acknowledge that there's a problem, but we need to appreciate that we were in a bottomless pit, full of challenges, full of debts, and the government had no option but to deal with that, the issue of defaulting, and now we are better than before, and now we can start seeing some progress. If we support the government, then supporting does not mean that we just sing their song. We challenge them, we criticize them positively, also praying for them, because this is our country. Honestly, if we get good result, we enjoy of us as Kenyans, not only President Ruto and his government. And when they go wrong, the president has set a good pace that we need to be honest to everyone, even to the advisors of the president. When the things are not working, like Adani issue, Kenyans have really talked about Adani. They were not interested with anything to do with Adani. And today we are happy that the president has listened to Kenyans, and now we can start inviting other investors who can take the position of Adani, because the truth of the matter is we need our airport to be done. We need Kenatrako to do their things, and at the situation we are in, we all understand that the money for development is very few. So as I conclude, Debal, thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. Kindly allow me to leave. I am doing something. I'm preparing for my exam tomorrow. But thank you so much, and God bless you.
We wish you the best.
All the best with your
Thank you
exam.
for graciously consenting to be. Yeah, graciously.
Thank you.
Consenting to be part of this conversation. We really do appreciate you, engineer, on this. And I think you've raised a very thorny issue that has been here also in the country, and which the president really alluded to. And many questions that have really come to the fore is the fact that did it really have to take, the action of what Uncle Sam did to Adani? But now we have a warrant of arrest for him, and this is the person that we wanted to also do business with. Countries that raise questions regarding the integrity of the farm and himself, Australia, they were up in arms. We saw protestations there, Switzerland as well, India, Indonesia, Myanmar. So these were many countries that actually the writing was on the wall. So the question is, did it really have to take the United States for them to now, cause us to act finally, so that we can pull back on this particular commitment or this PPP agreement that we're getting into? And I think, Benji Dollar, it's 9:30 right now. I think we should open now the floor to everyone, the listener who is been, actively engaging with us from the beginning.
Absolutely.
So that we can have
Absolutely.
their moment of expressing their questions and the frustrations, and also just reacting to what also our panelists have been saying. I know we lost Daktari at some point, but I want now to engage the listeners. We yield the floor to you. I see there's some requests. excuse me, I'm running flu, so
Pole, bro.
talking here and there.
Dibal, can I be able to finish up a point, please?
Oh, this is Daktari.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, Daktari, briefly, because now, we had lost you. If you could take maybe 2 minutes, is that okay with you?
Yeah, let me just wind up on these 2 minutes. Yeah. So basically, what I was saying is that like on the funding, the university funding model, we want sustainability, and I can tell you from the point of the university staff, the lecturers, we want sustainability in this. We want something that will ensure that universities can be able to continue to offer quality services. Let me tell you, just on the onset, when this funding model started, universities like even Embu, was it Embu? Yeah. They were able to pay their debts. They were able to pay the debts, actually the arrears for the lecture.
Well, I think Dr. is unfortunate. Today is off the grid, is off and on. So as soon as it's back,
Is he maybe in Kasipul, Kabondo?
You always see the monkeys. The monkeys are hanging on the line. Yeah. So for Dr. the monkeys are hanging on his line. But allow me to open the floor right now. A lot of issues have been raised. Adani deals, cancel, stabilizing shilling against the US dollar. We know inflation down to the lowest in 17 years. The country is food secure, according to the president. 4.5 million farmers got fertilizer. 17 sugar mills now operational. 0 imports. We've talked about teachers. 56,000 teachers for CBC. 20,000 more coming. Shout to pay all October claims by next week. He has indicated that. More than 4,000 affordable housing units up for sale. We have also labor exports, empowering citizens. Also, Hustler Funds has disbursed 60 billion shillings. They've also digitized 20,855 government services. KWS revenue, as I indicated earlier, up from 5 billion shillings to 7 billion shillings. So what are your reactions? And maybe just to give the floor to Brian Osoro. He's been wanting to speak for the longest. Also, we have Brave, also show your bravery, but also brevity as well. And also we have KB, so on that particular order. So if you could just get your questions kindly, refrain from being a bit emotive, just observe some sobriety, expect also the opinions which are raised here as well, and brevity is of essence. So let's just begin, first of all, with the way I've just called your names in that particular order. Brian, you here? Let's hear from you. You have a question, contribution?
Good evening, everyone. Am I audible?
Absolutely.
Now, my name is Bravin. I'm also a teacher, but Hustler for now is the right name I can use because we are yet to get those good deeds of the teachers. Now, I'm going to chip in on a very light note, but a serious one as well. We'll start with something to do with the KK government, what they promised and what they are delivering. These people, they promised heaven, but they are delivering hell. So let me talk about it a bit. Now, our president has been a deputy president for the past 10 good years. I'm sure this man or president knows all the corners of this country and what the task he was up to. Now, he walked all over the nation and promised to deliver so many things within 100 days, within 60 days, within 6 months, and so on. Now, when you promise that and then you capture the seat, what are you supposed to do? So for us here who are saying that let's give the president time, but you said it on your own, then you need to deliver. So when you campaign and you say that I'm going to do to provide free internet within 100 days, it is now more than 700 days. You have not provided. You are going to provide free calls. You know, these people, they normally talk and they think that we are just people who can be hoodwinked with words. As a historian or as a person who has been in this country or who is in this country, we know very well our politicians. So however the case, I don't think we need to give these people time, as majority of us will say. These people, they just need to deliver. Now, coming into that, they will promise us that they are going to do this in the next 6 months, but they are stealing daily. It is just yesterday, I think I heard the CS Treasury talking about 2 billion being lost daily. Where do they get these figures? And then they just pop in on televisions and media, and then they start talking about billions being lost. These people are shameless. I mean, you can afford, as a leader of that stature, you stand on a nation media, and then you tell us money is being lost, and there is nothing that you are doing. And some of us, we are there looking at things that are happening, and then we say, okay, let's just give them time. The other thing I will talk about is ignorance. Our leaders are very ignorant. Look at, I'll pinpoint some 2 or 3 tangible things that are very observable. The finance bill. The people are very much against, majority of the people are against the finance bill because of the way it was going to be implemented and the impact it was going to have on the Mwananchi. Look at the time when the president decided that let me put off the finance bill. It had already caused problems, and if it was a bomb, it was already exploding. People had already died. I mean, losing lives because of a piece of paper. Aren't we human? So it definitely shows how they were ignorant to that extent. The other thing is this thing of Adani. I mean, you have been talking about.
Yes, can I just butt in? Your time is up so that we can get other reactions as well, if you don't mind.
Okay. I'm winding up. So I was talking about ignorance, which I'm sure we have seen from our leaders. Another thing I'll wind up by talking about is arrogance from the leaders. Apart from being ignorant, our leaders are a bit arrogant. The way they communicate to the Mwananchi, it is not good at all. Let me finish with the education, because as a teacher, look at it. The education system in this country is being taken as I would say maybe something to do with the practical. You are doing practicals with the real things. These are the education is supposed to sustain someone for the rest of the period of his or her life. Many you are taking this person in circles. The lecturers are on a strike, teachers are on a strike. Every now and then, you promise you enter into a CBA with them, you do not fulfill. They move along the same circle. I mean, it is not right. So, having pointed that, I will say I also pray for